Just 2 more parts left in this series, and then I am finally free of Next Fest for at least another 6 months. But let's get with our next crop of amazing indie games and demos you should check out. We are starting things off with the latest game in the award-winning series, Monument Valley. The third game is coming to PC, and I can't believe I forgot that the previous 2 are now on it as well. If you don't know what the series is, this is a collection of very beautiful looking puzzles surrounding perspective and interacting with the environment to change things up and get your character from point A to point B, C, D, and so on. The art style still looks fantastic. Now, as someone who has not played the previous 2, I can't comment on what's new or different in this. But if you are a puzzle fan, I would highly recommend you check this one out. And again, if you missed out on the Monument Valley series, it is currently available on Steam. Well, the third one looks like we're going to be continuing with some more amazing looking puzzles with some fantastic and surreal art to go with them. We now go to Overlooting. This is a kind of like auto-battler roguelike, but instead of collecting units, you are collecting loot. Your job is to build sets of gear needed to take on the myriad of enemies that are standing in your way. After each fight, you'll choose from one of 3 randomly chosen pieces of gear. Gear can appear at different rarities and the sets themselves, with each set having its own unique function and bonus, which goes up as you collect more pieces to wear. The challenge, of course, is that like a lot of auto battlers, it's easy until it's not. If the gear you're using corresponds to the enemies at hand, it's a very easy fight. So I went with a gear that goes for kind of doing high damage after each turn and having enough defense to kind of tank. That worked until I ran into enemies who just did lots of poison, which ate through my defenses and I had nothing else to really counter it. And it's hard to tell from this demo how easy or hard the main game is going to be. People on the forums have already talked about several game-breaking strategies along these lines with certain gear sets. But at the moment, it's an interesting idea, and I am interested to see like how they'll balance things out in the main game. So if you are an auto battler fan looking for another game to check out and you like collecting a lot of loot, I would give this one a play. We now are going to get a little bit strange with the prison name, Fletcher's Quest. This is the next game from Elden Pixels, as you can tell with the character from Alwa on the screen. Our story is that a game designer feels overworked and stressed out about the launch of their next game, and they're having a bit of a mental break. And in order to clear things up and save their sanity, they're going to do what all game developers do: jump inside their head and have a Metroidvania themed adventure. Our gameplay here feels like very much a classic gun or range-based Metroidvania. You'll get the standard powers, you'll be pew-pewing around, trying to collect keys and other items and power-ups needed to move forward in this very unusual story. I do enjoy the pixel art, despite how strange some of these characters look in this one. It's hard to tell from the demo how advanced the main game is going to get, both in terms of like movement tech, as well as kind of the overall difficulty of combat. This doesn't appear to be as kind of like puzzle movement centric as the Alwa games were, but it definitely looks like it's going to be a very fun and interesting time. And the developer said that if this game sells well enough, we'll get a third Alwa game, so I'm kind of I'm beholden to hoping that this game succeeds. So, if you enjoy your Metroidvanias with a whole lot of weirdness to go with them, then I would definitely give this one a play. We now go to the Royal Writ. This is a combination of almost a deck builder meets an auto battler. The king is trying to bring peace to his kingdom, and he's going to send out his army and some very harshly worded letters to do so. How this one works is that for each battle, you will place units down on the field. Units can either provide a flat power, or they can multiply power, and they'll have different rules and conditions for doing both. Every turn that they're on the board, they will move forward 1 step. This will increase the amount of value they add to the respective power. You must get enough power in the stage to overwhelm the enemy in order to move forward. Now, where things get very tricky is that effects on cards persist across battles. So if a card wanders onto a poison field and becomes poison, they are going to be poison forever unless you find a way to cure that. If a card reaches the end of the field and the enemy is not defeated and they get pushed off, the card is removed from your deck. So the game, once again, like with Overlooting, has that same kind of issue of scaling where it's easy until it's not. If you have a really bad battle and you lose your best cards, you may not be able to capitalize and recover from it. And you'll need to kind of figure out what is going to be your strategy for the run as early as you can. I do love the art style, and this is a very interesting combination between an auto battler and a deck builder. So if you're a fan of both and looking for a unique take, then I would definitely give this one a try. We now go to Disaster Arms. This is a boss rush arcade style game where you are trying to defeat an evil company and all their many boss fights that are standing in your way. The gameplay definitely reminds me a lot of Gunstar Heroes, and the game was heavily inspired by kind of the 90s era of run and gun action games. Now, this one is far more kind of streamlined in that approach, although you're given a lot more different tech than you were back then. You'll start with all 4 of your main weapons you see in the upper right hand corner, and you can switch between them at any time. You have a kind of punch/blast that can destroy bullets. You can also charge up for a super move, and you need to keep picking up kind of your super move meter power, because when it's full, any additional ones will grant you health. The in-between each boss fight is just simply there as kind of like your basic run and gun, and it's the bosses that are the real star of the show. Each one will feature random patterns, and you must do all your best moving, ducking, shooting, and bullet destruction in order to deal with them. Very interesting take, and this was designed to be kind of a more short form, again, arcade experience, where you're trying to beat your score and do better on your next attempt. So if you are a run and gun fan and looking for a whole lot of bosses to rush, then I would give this one a play. We have another rhythm-based JRPG with Unbeatable. In this, you play a band that's trying to rebel against an evil corporation that's trying to take over, and you must use the power of music to, well, beat up anything that gets in your way. I love the art style in this one, going for a very kind of cartoon look and feel. You know, the big thing from the demo is that it was very slow, and outside the tutorial that you are seeing, and kind of like some fixed fights, a lot of which is kind of like walking around and learning more about the plot. It's hard to tell kind of what is beyond the music in this one, at least from this demo, but there's definitely potential here as another rhythmically challenging JRPG. So once again, if you're good at fighting to the beat and looking for a very interesting story to go along with it, then I would give this one a play. We have a new Zack-like with Kaizen, a factory story. This is from a lot of the original team of B.A.H.N. We are in a factory in 1980s Japan, and it's our job to design various toys, items, and other strange things while learning about life and trying to find our place in the world. This one is definitely more story driven, or at least more kind of story focused than some of the previous games. The structure still remains the same. You'll be given a cutscene to learn a little bit more about the life and factory, and then go into a puzzle. As with previous examples, this is going to be about you trying to set up a production line to produce a specific item. You will have, once again, the histograms to judge you on how effective you are, and of course how optimized you are at building these items. A big aspect of this one, at least from the demo, is that you will need to rotate objects in order to properly set up their placement so that your wristwatch actually fits right. And I'm sure there will be a full editor as well when the game comes out. The main thing from this demo is that it definitely is on the easier side, both in terms of the general mechanics at work here, and that it doesn't really quite show like anything like advanced in terms of building an item. Maybe the last puzzle is a little bit on the trickier side, but it is definitely far easier to parse compared to some of the previous games, especially trying to learn everything about B.A.H.N. So if you've been looking for another Zack-like to optimize and question your friend's ability to solve these puzzles, then I would give this one a try. We now go to The Way of the Tray. This is a waiter simulator roguelike? Something like that. You accidentally went outside during a demon ritual and you have been transported to the demon world. In order to get back, you are going to have to, well, serve them lunch and dinner, and hopefully earn enough favors from them in order to find your way back home. You'll get orders from the various demons, and you must take them back to the chef, and then, using your tray balancing powers, make sure to get everything on the tray and bring it back to them. Different demons will require different food or have different considerations for what they want to eat and what they don't want to eat. If you serve them perfectly, they will help you out. If you don't serve them perfectly, they can cause trouble. There is meta progression in terms of unlocking additional features such as new trays or ways of the demons helping you out in future servings. It's a very interesting take on, well, serving and a roguelike in that sense. Now, the main thing about demo is that it kind of gives you everything that you're going to be doing. If you're not a fan of kind of like the whole physics balancing of food or other objects, then you're probably not going to enjoy this one. But I found this to be very compelling, and kind of the roguelite elements and progression do make it feel very differently compared to some of the other ones that we've played. So, if you are a fan of serving customers and doing a lot of balancing along the way, I would give this one a try, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how much there is to the main game. And with that, we are finally coming to the end of the showcase. There's only one more part left featuring our last stream and all the other games I decided to check out afterwards. Let me know what you think about some of the games from tonight, any favorites, and with that, I will see everyone for one more showcase, and then I can finally go back to sleep for a long time. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.